Was my book in my background?
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Oh, okay.
is.
Okay,
I
cool.
love the marketing.
I'm learning from the masters, you know.
Okay.
So let me see something. I go like this now. Uh, oh, so
Um,
let's see
okay.
this.
So
So from here, I can't see anybody. Okay.
yeah, no, there's someone here. I don't know who Galaxy A32 is, but hello. Thank you
That
for
might,
being
that
here.
might be, that might be me
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm doing it from my phone.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, cool.
It doesn't show the
Um,
telephone number.
no, it just says Galaxy A325G.
That might be me. Yeah.
Okay, so you're here twice. Okay, cool. All right, so give me a minute to set up the Instagram, but let's just get into it since we're already a little bit delayed.
My name is Carol. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, hello. You're the one who texted me
I'm
today.
A30. I'm the
You're
what
the
is the
Right.
galaxy?
galaxy.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
me.
okay. Hello, Carol. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so welcome everyone to this evening's. Wait a minute, are we really live? Yeah, we are. Welcome to this evening's Transformation Thursday. And this is week 182. And I am very excited to announce our speaker for this evening. We have a discussion here on herbal healing for the people with Dr. Shaka Aziz. I will allow him to introduce himself. Thank you.
Peace and blessings. I'm brother brother Tafiq, also known as Dr. Shaka Zulu in the community. I've been a naturopath practitioner, holistic health practitioner, CAM, integrative practitioner, as well as a interfaith emergency chaplain. I served the community as an interfaith community chaplain for about the past 10 years. And the name of my practice is called Natural Health Hero, and in which it integrates the best of holistic modalities of Ayurveda, which is the science of Indian medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, medical Qigong, along with Native American, as well as Caribbean and African indigenous medicine studies. And so basically, Natural Health Hero is kind of like taking some of the best of each of them and utilizing it for the optimum for a person's health. And so one of the main themes in Natural Health Hero and my holistic health practices is not necessarily where you're from, but it's where you at. And I was born in Brooklyn, but raised in the Bronx and Harlem. And I was initiated into Caribbean bush medicine from my grandmother, um, from Barbados, and Taino Borinquen medicine from my grandfather. And basically that has both contributed to the wealth of information and to my pathway into a holistic healing as a herbalist. In addition to being an herbalist, I also have been a practicing martial artist, and combined with the science of all of the combative arts of karate, kung fu, kickboxing, particularly ninjutsu, jujitsu, and a few others that I like the most. Some of the masters, they felt that when I got to a certain level, they felt that in order to become a real master, a true master, one does not necessarily only have to be concerned with hurting the body or killing, but in fact, to be a true master, one needs to learn how to heal the body and build the body. And so that put me on another pathway to go backwards to gain 2 steps, 3 steps forward to gain this holistic wellness information. In addition to that, like I said, I'm born in Brooklyn, but raised in the Bronx and Harlem, and it's not hard to see the disparities in healthcare, particularly in our communities, and that basically was some of the fire that they would say that stimulate or motivate one to doing something about the situation in our community. So this is why we have Natural Health Hero, which is the name of my holistic health practice. And during the pandemic, or scandemic, as a lot of folks would say, I also decided to, again, not become a part of the complaints that a lot of people were staying frozen or being paralyzed with and basically being in fear. But I wanted to basically educate and empower the people, with, especially within my community, Black and Brown, and all throughout the world, with the knowledge and the power of natural herbs, because natural herbs are for the people. And so I had came out and self-published a book in 2022-23 called Natural Herbs for the People. And so this book here basically demonstrates a lot of the information, affirmation that one could use to empower themselves and their families by becoming their own, basically, herbal holistic practitioner. And a lot of the books that we would find and very good informative books throughout the many years of history, such as Back to Eden, a lot of even Dr. Sebi's writings, or even other writers, you will always find a lot of the pictures of the plants or the plant medicine always in drawings or in black and white pictures. And I decided to basically upgrade the information to today's time and place by placing the pictures of the stuff that you really need, in color. Okay. And this is very important for not just the knowledge, but also for plant identification and so forth, because many of us are also learning how to turn food into that medicine and to start learning to plant in our backyards and our front porches or even on our rooftops and so forth. And so for many years, we would do consultations on how to help folks to become self-sustained, holistically help self-sustain, or for living off of the grid and living healthy at the same time. And the book also not just talks about medicinal spices and herbs that we should have in our cabinet, but also great plants that also help and that are also conducive to one's health in the house. And particularly the bamboo palm, which is very good for naturalizing negative ions in the air, basically dealing with environment pollutants, and even is great for eliminating secondhand smoke for those who have secondhand smoke or live close to highways and big office buildings, particularly warehouses and so forth. Another plant that's excellent, very good to have in the house that one could definitely have and is easy, you usually find them all over the place, is the snake plant. And the snake plants are very, very good for basically neutralizing air and killing negative bacteria and so forth. And that's just some of them. But in my book, Natural Herbs for the People, I wanted to make it a user-friendly, easy on the eye, basically information, affirmation brought to the people by any means necessary. This book can basically be an add-on to one of the great books that you already may have in your library. However, if you're not, this will be a good start. And so that's one of the beautiful things about information about natural herbs. And again, it's for the people. A lot of people think that herbs is for scary people. If you're practicing or you drinking herbal tea, something must be wrong with you. You're spooky or kooky. But I think it's the other way around. If you're not drinking herbal teas, then maybe something is wrong with you. Okay? You have the power to drink herbs or herbal teas that are actually naturally saturated with flavonoids, terpenes, phytonutrients that are actually very good for the body. Whereas you might be going to the stupid markets, as I always say, the stupid markets, and purchasing, orange drink, which is not even orange juice, but it is artificial intelligence of nanoparticles that are contributed along with high fructose corn syrup, which is also to be found one of the biggest major contributors to cancer right now. It's a very heavy carcinogenic. And that is being sold in almost every supermarket in the Black and brown communities. You won't find those beverages in other places, I would find, but you would definitely almost find them for sure in a lot of the supermarkets in our community. And in fact, they would send you or sell you orange drink masqueraded as orange juice, you know, for 99 cents. Now, where are we going to get orange juice for 99 cents? Okay. And then when you start looking for it, and when you start actually taking the time to read, you find out that it's not necessarily telling you orange juice, it's orange drink. But yet you still won't think. Orange juice, right, has to be extracted and they place it and they call it in concentrate. Does it make you concentrate any better? No. Okay. Again, this is the foods or drugs masquerading itself as foods in our stupid markets today, not yesterday, today. And unfortunately, tomorrow, until maybe you and I or somebody gets empowered from the words that I'm saying, and we start operating the people's grocery, people's revolutionary supermarket, where it becomes a real supermarket, you know, where we are growing super organic food to help perpetuate the super organic people. You know, it's time to build oneself rather than to destroy.
Supermarket. That is a new one. Thank you for that. Um, what got you on this path? What got you motivated to begin doing this and living this way?
I'm sorry.
What got you on this path?
What got me on this path? I say life. And being a community activist, my father was very highly influenced by the Young Lords, and he would tell me stories, especially in the beginning days of hip hop. I was a hip hop papa, break dancing, doing graffiti writing, MCing, doing DJing, all of the five elements that you would say in hip hop. I was doing that back then. And one of the songs that one of my great friends, KRS-One, came out with, which was Illegal Business Controls America. And my father said, hey, hold on a minute, rewind that, play that again. And I played that song, and then he started going out telling me the whole story about how the United States of America basically was a.k.a. the United Snakes of America, and during the Vietnam War was bringing in dead American soldiers with heroin in their bellies, and they were giving the families basically free burials for these American soldiers based upon the cover up that was happening of them bringing in drugs into the Black and Latino communities. Now let's fast forward it. The same thing that happened back then is the same thing that's happening now. Some of the areas in the Bronx that have been highly impacted through narcotics and substance abuse is 138th Street and 3rd Avenue. Not just yesterday, but today. Today still, you still see people like it's the walking land of the lost, or the zombies. And this is based upon the drugs that have been plagued within the Black and Latino communities. And so that right there basically motivated me a little bit more into being community activated, but then also hearing about the technique, the brilliant technique of what we found today as air acupuncture, also known as auricular therapy, which was founded by Dr. Mutula Shakur, the late Dr. Mutula Shakur, who was the grand master of a holistic liberation acupuncture. And I'm glad to be in the lineage of him from my teacher, Dr. George Xavier Love, as well as actually being an advocate for the people, by any means necessary. For those that may have seen some of my work, I actually started Natural Health Hero as a community acupuncture clinic for the people, by the people. Is almost kind of like how set up how in the 1960s and the 70s, how the National Black Panther Party, how they started the free acupuncture clinics as well as the free health clinics. And this was done because there is a disparity in the quality of healthcare in our community. And we wanted to do something about it. So myself, who became a naturopath, board certified naturopath, as well as acupuncture, I decided to go back to school with little or no college education, decided to go back to school. And I went back to school for this education and then got it and wound up apprenticing under a doctor for the past 10 years. And that, along with the combined education and information, is what we have today with natural herbs for the people, as well as natural health hero, along with other like-minded, powerful practitioners who also believe in the same theology of holistic healthcare for the people. It's not just talking, it's an action, because your health is a birthright. And a lot of people don't realize it. A lot of people actually, they do realize it, and they're trying to eradicate and exterminate certain people's birthright. Y'all with me?
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate the knowledge that you're sharing. I wanted to get back to the book. Do you actually have some of the images of some herbs that we should actually have in our homes all the time?
From in the book, in this book, you will have a lot of pictures and a lot of clear instructions. In particular, hold on, let me show you something, as well as history, because in order to appreciate the fruit, you must go back to the root. And some of the roots of ancient history of our medicine goes back to Kemet. So I had to basically connect the dots where and give credit to where credit is due. So we talk about ancient Kemet in this book as well, and the science of how we use herbs even in the pyramids and so forth. A lot of folks, they said, nah, this is coming from Hippocrates, who was the so-called founder, a father of medicine, and all these other individuals. But however, Hippocrates studied at the feet of the grand masters of Imhotep, who was the father of medicine and math. Come on. So, I mean, again, in order to appreciate the fruit, and the fruits is wonderful, they're sweet and they're lovely, but you got to really go back to the root. And that root is going back to ancient Kemet. And ancient Kemet, they tell you about the science of alchemy, or alchemy, which is the combination of the different elements, which makes what it makes what it makes. That's the science of what our people put together. And I love being a vehicle of this, because I'm not a creator of it. I'm just a vehicle of this expression from the creator. And I just call the creator Allah. Some call it the Most High, Elohim, Yahweh, the source. And so, same thing that I could do, you could do. It's the same thing that the prophet Isa or the prophet Jesus spoke about in the Bible. Is not the way of the Father, not his way, but the way of the Father, intertwined into the one. And with that one, you become a vehicle. We are all like a flute, but with that source power blowing through us, you can create the frequencies of healing and harmony throughout the universe. And I think that's what our job is to do. So yeah, the book is talking about natural herbs for the people, because these are talking about herbs that we should be having. Particularly, another one is my product that I have out here called the Four Thieves. The Four Thieves dates back to the story of the 14th century during the bubonic plague, in which it was very similar to something like what we was dealing with a few years ago with the scandemic, pandemic, whichever you choose to call it. Okay. However, the same thing back then is kind of like the same thing happening now, but it's dealing with information. And I'll get to that later on. But back to the story of the Four Thieves. So during the bubonic plague in Europe, the whole area was being, terrorized with the sickness of the Black Plague. People were dying from the illness and the virus and so forth. And they had these four bandits who were able to go to each different city in each different nation, and they were able to get the gold and the silver and all different wealth of all these people that were supposed to be sick and had illnesses and so forth. And they were able to go and get contact amongst their stuff and take it out and extract it without being sick or contaminated. And they were doing this for quite some time, until a king says, hey, hold on a minute, what's going on with this? These guys, they've been going amongst the sick and the dead, and they haven't gotten any illness. Summons them. They must tell us the secret. What is it? And so these so-called four bandits tell the story of how they were children of Grand Master herbalists. and that each of them was taught to create this concoction, which would be the concoction of enlightenment. It's an elixir. And one was to bring the sage, one was to bring the oregano, the other one was to bring the thyme, and the other one was to bring the rosemary. Now, some of us are saying and probably listening, wait a minute, this sounds like certain ingredients that we should probably be having in our cabinets, hopefully, right? Not only should we have them in our cabinets, and we do use them, hopefully, right? But they work, not just each of them are good by themselves. I can actually go in a whole hour on the benefits of sage, not just, sage. We could burn sage. Sage, when you burn sage, sage clears the air. It clears the auric field. It gets rid of bacteria within the area, the atmosphere. Okay. Drinking sage tea is very good to cleanse the lungs and so forth, and also calms and soothes the body down. Okay. So that's the sage. Then we go into the oregano. I mean, I can't stop to tell you enough about oregano. The leaves, whether you drink it as a tea or you're actually taking oil of oregano, which I have here in my brand Natural Health Hero, and so forth. And any of those are, especially oil of oregano, is number one in antiseptic properties, antiviral. Okay. Antiviral meaning it kills viruses, it destroys viruses, it eliminates viruses. Okay. It also, there's a scientific research saying how positively effective it is even on cancer and tumors and so forth. Oil of oregano has been noted for. So that's something that I think folks should be encouraged to look into and to implement and to utilize, and don't get put into a fear factor of being paralyzed based off of fear. Fear is the false events that appear to be real. That's why some of us alluded to this pandemic or a scandemic, because in fact, we did find that there were clues that this was planned before 2020 or 2019 and so forth. They already had this written up and so forth. Okay. The other herbs that go along with that main concoction of the four thieves, we spoke of the sage. I told you about the oil of the oregano, but then there's also the rosemary. Rosemary is excellent for the thyme and the thymus gland, as well as thyme, the herb thyme, in which we use that to season our meats, in particular your lamb, your chicken, your salad, and so forth like that. Again, all these herbs are very powerful by themselves. However, when you use them together, they synergistically work even more stronger for the body system, for optimizing the immune system, optimizing, strengthening all the glands, basically fighting, killing viruses, etc. And so that is in the four thieves. And it's a wonderful thing. And it's also based in apple cider vinegar. And apple cider vinegar is good for almost 1,000 things in itself. I mean, you can't stop it. And that combination of the four thieves is also to be taken under the tongue. Okay. And when you take it under the tongue, it works sublingually, goes right to the system and helps open you up right into the bloodstream. Not only that, but you can actually take some of this and place it into an oil burner and smell this into the air as aromatherapy. This is also going to have the same antiseptic, antiviral properties that are now killing off bacteria in the air, especially those of us who are walking around or being around people who don't express good hygiene practices, coughing, sneezing out with their mouth out loud, like you see a lot of people do these days. So this could be a very good protective mechanism for that. As a martial artist, I take things on a very serious level as a self-defense approach. But then when I converted that to the holistic arts now, I take the health approach as a self-defense health approach. So you want to fight toxins and pathogens with the best jujitsu techniques, which will be these herbs. And it's, and the four thieves that I have here is not just the sage, oregano, thyme, and rosemary, but it's also infused with a lot of African and indigenous Caribbean herbs that make it even stronger. Because again, we want to, in order to appreciate the fruit, we want to go to the root, but we want to raise up the vibration of the frequency of people from the root to the tooth. So this is why we have it here, make it nice and spicy and so forth. You have watercress in there, you have hot peppers, guinea hen, all type of stuff in there to increase circulation, chi, energy, which is also very important in holistic sciences.
Could you show us a bottle of the product? Because we don't see video now.
Oh, hold on. So, okay, let's see. I can see that.
Okay, and this is your product. Okay,
Yes.
and it's called the Thieves Four
Four
Thieves
Thieves.
Tonic Oil. Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you what is your website? 'Cause I'm sure people are looking like, okay, how can I order this?
Yeah, so folks can actually purchase direct at naturalhealthhero.com. Again, that's www.naturalhealthhero.com. They can also email me at naturalhealthhero786@gmail.com. Again, that's naturalhealthhero, the numbers 786@gmail.com if they want to email me. We also have holistic Ayurvedic consultations in which through the email for $25, what we do is we give folks a herbal consultation where we get into the Vakruti, as we call it in Ayurvedic medicine, which is the basically the divine constitution of who you are, what you are, with your body type. So again, with our philosophy of natural health hero, it's not necessarily where you're from, but it's where you at. And you got to learn to eat right for your body type. Okay. Some folks is like, well, what does that mean? Well, certain people, everybody right now is now jumping on this whole wave of eating all these different waves. And so, which is good. I like it as a health practitioner. People are becoming more conscious, more food conscious about what they're actually putting into their bodies. Okay. But I have to say, just because somebody says that, well, I'm eating clean, what determines eating clean? Or somebody says I'm eating this Beyond Burger that's supposed to be a plant-based burger. All right. However, but do you really know where the ingredients to make that particular patty come from? And is it really healthy or healthier than a steak sandwich or chicken or turkey and so forth? And so these are the things that you got to look for. And you have to answer that question for yourself, by yourself, because, you know, heal thyself is for you. You're not looking to, looking for somebody else's health plan or for somebody else's other protocols. You have to eat right for your body type. Some folks are actually better at being better suited as vegans, okay, for their blood type, particularly blood type. And then there are some that actually will require a bit more of a protein that may not necessarily be able to obtain from plants. So you might have to rely on animal and or fish in particular for those proteins.
Okay. Thank you. I did have a couple of comments as people were asking like where they could find you and what their page was. So on the Facebook, I did indicate they should go to Natural Health Hero so that they can contact you.
Yes.
Okay, so you touched on some of your beginnings, but like because I'm thinking of people who are watching and like, what are the steps? Like, what are the steps to get to better levels of health? So, what did you start learning first? Did you start learning about the herbs first or the martial arts? What was that like?
It was kind of like a combination of both. I think the herbs were first because I could remember being introduced and initiated to herbs from my grandmother when I would visit her in Brooklyn, and I would go into her refrigerator and I would think I'm looking for some juice or something to drink, and she would smack it out my hand or pull it away and tell me, no, don't drink that. Or if I pulled something and didn't ask her, and I did drink it, it would taste crazy, where your eyes, you'd be like this after that. And she would be laughing. And as she's laughing, I'm running to the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? Either, stuff is coming up here or stuff is coming out through out of there. But it's basically uh exercising a cleanse, a detox. And so a lot of those that she had in her refrigerator were like black castor oil. A lot of folks is now jumping on the black castor oil thing now. Oh, black castor oil, black castor oil. This is something that a lot of folks in the Caribbean and Africa that we've been dealing with for a long time. Okay. The castor oil itself, the cold pressed castor oil, the linoleic nucleic acids that you get from that is excellent for detoxification. And the strong emollient oils is very good for the skin as well, especially for women that are dealing with what you call it, stretch skin marks and so forth. It's excellent for that in case you can't get to vitamin E. It has natural compounds of vitamin E as well. So that's something that you definitely want to do. And it can be taken internally as well as externally, used topically on the skin, as we're saying. We utilize that in the first phase for detoxification for those that are having upset stomach or issues with the GI tract, gastrointestinal tract, which we do abdominal massage. And you start with a drop of the black Jamaican castor oil, all right? And you place that onto the navel, okay? And then you massage that in for 5 minutes, and then you start to expand that circle clockwise to stimulate digestion, ingestion, and so forth. And if the person had an issue of going too much, then I would do a rub counterclockwise to slow it down. And you're going to let that sit into the stomach for at least 45 minutes to an hour or more. In fact, even today now, this is something new that a lot of folks coming from other places are now jumping on the bandwagon. But in traditional Caribbean African medicine, bush medicine, this is something that we did long time. For example, we still take the black castor oil, and you would take the black castor oil and put it on a hot cotton pack, and you would place that over the liver, and you would sleep with that overnight. And that would basically help to detoxify the body. If somebody had if they were drinking too much, which happens a lot in the Caribbean islands because they're saturated with rum from the overusage of the rum from the sugarcane plantations. So a lot of folks have alcoholism. So some of the mama and baba bush doctors, we detoxify the folks by utilizing hot Jamaican castor oil packs, placing them on the liver because the liver is #1 organ for detoxification of the body. #2 would then be your kidneys. But with that black castor oil, we're going to place the black castor oil on this side as a hot pack. You can place it even on your lungs or your chest and so forth like that. It will help to expectorate mucus and phlegm. And it's also noted to have very good benefits for the thymus and the thymus gland and the thyroid for those that are battling issues with that. Excuse me.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. What was the air neutralizing plants? You said the spider plant, and what was the other plant?
Oh, you have the spider plant, you have the bamboo plant.
Oh, the bamboo, that's what you said. Okay. And what you're talking about, my grandmother, whenever me and my 2 sisters got sick, she would have to run and catch us to give it to us, but she would saturate us with castor oil. And you talking about cleaning out, and she would use the poultice, or what you said, she put it inside of a cloth, the castor oil, and she would place it on our stomachs. She would do that every time we got sick. She detoxified us every time we got sick.
That's right. That's right. And so this is what you said, your grandmother did this?
Yeah, she was from Alabama.
She was from Alabama. And so again, that's part of my theory. It's not necessarily where we're from, is where we at. And
Right.
utilizing indigenous medicine from all over the place has been beneficial for all of us, tribal community people. So, you know, you got some people say, oh, well, this is just a Chinese thing, or this is an Indian thing, or this is an African thing, or this is a Caribbean thing. No, it's all of us, we the people, you know.
Yes.
If I'm not in China and I can't find ginseng, right, or Ho Shai Wu, I have to be able to find an equivalent to that here in America or wherever I'm at. I mean,
Yes.
that's how some of us liberation doctors, that's how we think. Some of us is stuck in 1325 or something like that. I'm not one of those. I am very much in 2024 and moving beyond, you know, because we have to also be able to get hip to the script when it even becomes with trying to empower the people with this herbal medicine. A lot of folks won't take the time to boil the water and put the herb into the tea and make the infusion, the concoction, and so forth. So now we have to create other avenues that actually is okay. It creates manufacturing for jobs for some of us to hire other folks that will do that, and so that we can sell our products to help empower the people. The people get healthier, the people live longer, the people live stronger. The people, basically it helps the whole economy in so many different ways, but we're doing it organically, holistically, and for those of us who are ascribed to a certain way of living, a halal lifestyle, or it's feast to be Allah, meaning that it's beautiful in the eyes of God, or the Most High. You know, I'm not making a living by killing nobody, robbing nobody, doing anything mischievous, you know, doing stuff with dealing with interest. Is dealing with stuff with the best interest of the community of health. I don't think what better blessings can you get than that, monetary wise, as well as battle cop wise, blessing wise.
You also spoke about the Impossible Burger. And I had that question also, like, was this really, I mean, they say it's from plants, but what plants and how's the plants grown? And so I stopped eating it. I said, I need to learn how to make my own Impossible Burger.
You do. That's a very good, powerful move to do. And in fact, one of the ways that we did a research that some of that so-called plant burger stuff, actually some folks have found, and I was sharing that with a few folks, they have found human body parts in the so-called Impossible Burger.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you can look it up. They found human body parts in this so-called mysterious, impossible plant-based meat. Now, I have to ask folks, because just because somebody says plant-based, right, don't think that you're just talking only about plants, as in the photosynthesis type of plants, or an organic plant. A plant could also be something else that is manufactured and it's called on a plant. Okay, so they could cut up body parts of a human being, right? And if that's where they're chopping it up, the body chop, they call that a plant, right? And they selling plant, the fruits of that is that, and it's a plant. So that could be plant-based burgers. Unbeknownly to most people, you thinking that you're eating vegan, nutritionist stuff that's growing from the earth, and here it is, you could be possibly eating human body part, human meat. There's a book back in the days that was done, and so this is not too far from, you know, imagination. There was a book, and they talked about Soylent Green.
I was just thinking that.
And it was talking about how the human population, right? This was written by it's an old school book. My dad put me onto this book by Orson Welles, I believe, and he stated that how the population would get so big that there was not enough food to go around, and therefore it got so bad that they started dealing with cannibalism. But they were making cannibalism sexy by, you know, like, you know, getting rid of all of the people that, you know, that people wasn't really looking for, and they were just gone.
The homeless people, especially, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know.
There was a movie by the same name, Soylent Green. It starred Charlton Heston, and it came out in 1968.
I think that was it. That was the movie after the book.
I'm not surprised though.
Oh no. as they say, there's nothing necessarily new always under the sun. And this is why I'm so glad for platforms like Sister Abina has allowed me to share on the holistic health chapter and so forth, because it's about empowering the people with the information that they can affirm this by any means necessary. You know, I want these herbs, this book should be in everybody's book. It should be in everybody's house right now. Okay, not only the book, but also the herbs that we talk about in it.
Yes, most definitely.
So
The herbs that's in it, the formulas
Thank
that's
you,
in it.
Sister Bina. I'm sorry.
you're most welcome. That is my question. Like, what are, I know you mentioned oregano, which yes has been on my list for a long time to get some olive oregano. What are the top 5 herbs that we absolutely need to have or should be consuming every day?
Woo! You asked the ninja star question right there. Hold on. That right here, we're going to show you. I can tell you about it. Well, here it goes. Yeah, so the top herbs that you definitely want to have, herbal tea wise, is peppermint. Okay, peppermint is excellent for soothing of the stomach. Okay, it's excellent for acid digestion. Helps to aid after you drinking or eating food and so forth like that. It's very good for the stomach. Excellent for children. In fact, the vapors or the steam of peppermint tea have a certain amount of menthol that can also be inhaled and utilized as aromatherapy, and that is also excellent as an expectorant to help remove phlegm and mucus and water off of the chest. Okay, so peppermint tea is excellent. You could take peppermint sprigs of the leaves and infuse that into the water and let it sit overnight and drink the water. And that pepper infused water will also be utilized as a natural refrigerant to help cool the body down for those who have hot flashes, particularly women who have hot flashes and so forth. Those is also like a nice, what we call in the islands, a cooling bush tea. Cooling bush teas you want to use is that along peppermint. If you can get your hands on another great one that I always love to talk about, which is hibiscus. In some places they call it hibiscus, and in the Caribbean we call it sorrel. In Africa we call it bisat. In the Mexicano or Latin America places we call it rosella. Rosella, hibiscus, sorrel, right? The rose is all the same thing. And that particular herb, I love to talk about it the most because that right there was my Dr. Shaka's Natural Health Heroes, whatever, 19 protocol. Because during the so-called scandemic, they had people scared up and put into fear. When you went to the hospitals and the places of clinics and saying you had these different sicknesses, it was interesting because these individuals were sending people back to their houses and back to their homes and places with no information on what to do to help themselves. The hospitals were oversaturated with people that they were already dealing, and they were putting them on ventilators, and they didn't have an answer. They didn't even tell an answer for anybody that went to the hospital what to do. Just go home and just die in the corner. And so, we know that when you are sick, the body is in need of vitamin C. Okay. Now, one of the most flavorful things that people think of when you think about vitamin C is, oh, I'm gonna go get me orange juice. I'm gonna go get me some orange juice. All right. But again, we're living around in communities, in areas where they're not giving us orange juice. They're giving us orange drink so that you don't think. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't read. You don't take the time to read. Again, this is called the stupid markets that we have in our communities, by choice for some reason. Okay. So they're giving you stuff that is concentrated with low contents of vitamin C, not real vitamin C. That's going to contribute. That's not helping the body really much. Okay. So we had to learn about tapping back into the natural divine medicine of the people from the Most High, which he told us about sorrow. hibiscus, rosella, the rosé. That rosé, not the wine, but although sorrow, they have learned to make wine out of it, right, is very high in phytonutrients, flavonoids, right, that are very, very important for cleansing the blood, healing the blood, raising the bilirubin, which is the red blood components in the blood, along with others, and the nutrients and tappenins in the hibiscus or the sorrel is also noted to be in a refrigerant. And what is a refrigerant? A refrigerant is like a cooling tea where it helps to bring the body cool. If I have high blood pressure, it releases and makes the blood pressure go down. If I'm so hot and so hot, which we call this in the Caribbean healing, cooling bush teas, because a lot of times folks were cutting sugarcane in out in the field, and they could, with that sun, that intensity sun was no joke. So they had to have cooling bush teas that when you drink it, it will help relax and cool the mind and the body down so that people could go back to work. So sorrel was #1 on that because it's very high in vitamin C. So during the COVID, scandemic, pandemic, I was myself making big pictures of sorrow, because a picture of sorrow, basically, let me show you something here.
We don't have video, we just see like the picture.
If you went to the supermarket or the stupid market and you bought a container like this, and it was
We
filled
can't
with,
see, Brother Shaka, we
oh,
can't see. It's just
No,
the
we
still
can't.
image.
Yeah,
hold
I
on,
can't.
hold on.
Oh,
You see me now?
yes, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes it goes off. Okay, so if you went to the stupid market and you went and got a container like this, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, and this was supposed to be of orange juice, right? This would be almost very, very expensive, right?
Yes.
How much would you say a container like this will cost of orange juice?
$6.99.
You're so nice, sister. $6.99. We got to go to your supermarket, right? Now, I got a bag of this here. Nobody, can you see this here? Hold on. Oh. So everybody sees this here?
Yes.
So this here
Wow.
is a bag of hibiscus, also known as sorrel. In the Caribbean, we call it sorrel. They call it hibiscus. The Europeans, Mexicanos, Latino Americans, Morenos, we call it rosella, right? And they make beautiful tasting beverages from this. And I mean, I love this here because I grew up in the Caribbean with this here. It keeps the body cool. It's actually very good to cleanse the blood, right?
And it's high in vitamin C.
Very high in vitamin C. You only need, if I show you right now, see, I get very passionate when I talk about bush tea, bush medicine. We get it right out the stuff here.
And you deliver to the Bronx? You deliver to the Bronx?
Yes, I do. Can y'all see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fresh cut, sifted sorrel. And sorrel is noted as a blood cleanser. When you hook something up like this, and I'm gonna have it at my at the temple tomorrow, people are going crazy for the natural health hero beverages. They love it because we are empowering the people with natural health information for the people, by any means necessary. Why go get soda that got high fructose corn syrup? That is one of the major contributors to ADHD. Why your child is sitting around going like this and they don't know why, right? And then they saying, oh, well, put this child on this and put this other child on that, and saturate them with 10 other psychotropic drugs, all because the child don't know how to stay still, because they're giving them drugs masqueraded as food right in the pharmacy and right in the schools. And some of us parents are actually literally willingly doing it because they get a paycheck for it, which is ridiculous.
It is.
Okay. So a handful, a little pinch like this, 3 things like this, look, like this can create a picture this size, which will be
Wow.
so red with all of the flavonoids, phytonutrients, terpenes, etc., that have more vitamin C than 3 gallons of orange juice. Check that out.
Mm.
So
More
when you prepare that, just
more
boil
vitamin
it.
D3 leaves than in 3 gallons of orange juice. Come on now.
So how do you prepare that? And what size bottle is that? Could you use like a gallon water bottle?
You certainly can. And
And
so the more that you're going to make, the more of the leaves that you should have. Okay, so you're going to just make a cup. And again, this and the beautiful thing about hibiscus or sorrel is that it can be drank hot or cold. Interestingly, if it's hot, you will still drink and benefit from this hot cup of sorrel tea, and it would still break the barrier to bring the body cool back down. It's
I've had
interesting.
sorrel. I've had sorrel drink in the Jamaican. When we go in a Jamaican restaurant, I will always choose it because it tastes so good.
Yes, yes. And if they're not drinking the sorrel, then they would drink what is known as the ginger beer. That's what you see me drinking here.
Yes.
And it's not ginger with alcohol beer. It's just a ginger beer with just ginger, water, and sugar that has sometimes naturally ferment, which actually makes the strength and the potency of the herbs comes out a little bit more.
Well, I'm getting ready to do a whole 360 with my health because of the issues that I'm having. So I'm getting ready to do a whole 360 with herbal drinks and tonics and the whole works.
Good for you. You got that book. Make sure you're reading that book, Natural Herbs for the People,
I am.
because in there it has so much information in there, especially in another subject that's good. We have in there about oregano, which helps for the smooth the stomach. Mint, which helps to ease hiccups. Ginger, right? We just talked about ginger briefly, but ginger is excellent for anti-nauseous and for digestion, and it's good for weight loss. Okay, and fenugreek, which helps also to flush out harmful toxins. Cinnamon is a natural alkalizer for the blood. Okay, and clove is also naturally as a natural antiseptic for those who are dealing with laryngitis. You can actually gargle with clove tea, or every day drink clove tea, which is excellent for the heart. Okay, and cayenne, one of my most favorite herbs that I love the most. A lot of people say, oh, if one herb that you could say the most, it would be cayenne. I don't travel without a dash of cayenne. One of my herbal bush doctor grandmasters, Dr. Rashawn, founders of Sundial Herbs, father and founder of Coromantee and Woodroot Tonic, used to tell us and teach us about the power and the usage of cayenne pepper. And that our cayenne pepper, along with, in the islands, we call it bissi, but bissi is the a.k.a. to kola nut. Kola nut, the African kola nut, which is excellent, which the same kola nut is what they use in how they get Coca-Cola. Before they put the cocaine in it, they use the kola nut, which is how it got its caffeine and its dark flavor, the sweet tasting flavor. Okay, so those are very, very powerful herbs for the mind and the body, and it's like so good.
Another question I have is on the herbs that you're talking about. Where can we go to buy the herbs? Like the potency is a good quality. You know, where can we buy a good quality the herbs that you're talking about?
That's a very good question. We are trying right now. There's not that many places that are actually really selling good herbs right now. So it's very hard because unfortunately, there has been, I don't like to really put too much light on it, but I have to be the bearer of truth and the sword. And so unfortunately, we have a conspiracy to kill and get rid of a lot of naturopathic, holistic, alternative health healers and information gatherers and facilitators. And for the past 7 to 10 years, there has been a campaign basically to eradicate and remove all individuals who have this type of information from the mainstream of the social media. So with that being said, you know, we have to, some of us, not some of us, all of us, those who are actual practitioners, providers, have to be very careful as to what we are administering to the people, whether it is just information and or herbs or acupuncture or just even exercises, because the biggest gangsters in America, not only the police, but the American Medical Association, basically they put hits out on alternative holistic health practitioners. And so I got cautioned and warned numerous times during the scandemic, pandemic about the exercises, the medical Qigong exercises that was taught to me by my teacher that were utilized to help people battle and overcome respiratory issues that you would find in so-called COVID issues. And so I got banned for some time, and then mysteriously the video came back up and they told me, you know, just change the name, don't tell the people that, and you know, we'll let you rock. And so I decided, I said, let me pray on it. And I put it up again and just switched it around and just put the silence in certain parts. But people basically, if you look and pay attention, you can actually, you know, still see the great wealth of information that was shared, as far as what can one do to help their lungs. There was an exercise that I had for the heart, for those that were battling heart issues. There was a lung issue, lung exercises that we would do on the beach. And like I said, Facebook, YouTube, they took me down. Now, if I sat up there and talked about all the negativity and talked about taking your clothes off and getting high and going crazy, I'll get 1 million subscribers. But here it is, I'm telling and teaching people how to help themselves, how to heal themselves by any means necessary with Qigong and herbs and acupressure. And here it is, they took me down. But that's all right, because I'm still here by the grace of the Most High, still sharing the information by any means necessary. And what that did was just created a catalyst where, I mean, I have a book out now. Not only I have a book out now, but we have products that are now in people's homes and on cabinets right now. So there's a store that I have a partnership with in Mount Vernon, New York. It's called Heal Thyself, Love Thyself. It's located at 5 East 2nd Street. Again, Heal Thyself, Love Thyself, up in Money Earning, Mount Vernon. You go see my brother, Mr. E, and you tell him Dr. Shaka sent you there for some of this health medicine. We have tonics, tinctures, all type of good stuff. And again, that's 5 East 2nd Street and Money Earning, Mount Vernon. And aside from that, people can always get my stuff direct from me at www.naturalhealthhero.com. We are now getting ready to build a supermarket of herbs for the people, where you can actually purchase your herbs, whether it be dandelion, whether it be black seed. Oh man, I didn't even get to go into the black seed. Black seed is good for almost every ailment except for death. So says the Prophet Muhammad. Black seed oil is also good for the hair. It's good for a number of things, especially right now with a lot of people coughing and sneezing, and the weather is changing right now, where winter season now is shifting into the spring. And so we have to now do things to help out with our allergies. And so black seed oil is a #1 oil that has been utilized to help people battle and combat allergies and allergic reactions. It has the natural antihistamine to reverse it going on in your body system. So aside from the black seed oil, then you should start looking for honey, particularly honey that's organically, you know, obtained from places that's local to you, because those bees are going to get the pollen from the trees and the plants that's around our neighborhood. And those histamines, they're going to have the antihistamine component that you're going to ingest that will make it stronger so you can fight off the allergies. So this is why you want honey closer to you. Again, it's not where you're from, it's where you at.
I was just thinking about like honey. So you're saying locally sourced honey is the best. So like clover honey or wildflower honey, or should I just take a trip upstate and get locally sourced honey?
Any of those, see, like, so all of those are where the bees actually got it from. But if it's local, if it's close here to New York, in the tri-state area, then those ones you want to stay. If it's a wildflower here in New York or wildflower in New Jersey or Connecticut, that's good. As to a wildflower honey in California, the one that's going to be in California is going to have good benefits, but not as good for me because I live here in New York. So I want what's closer to me.
Okay, thank you for that. And you touched briefly on children. Can you say what are some good things to give to children, like things that are not colored so brightly? And yeah, what do you recommend we give to children?
Okay. So for children, first and foremost, you want to make sure that they do not have any honey because children under the age of 2 cannot break down the glucogen, natural glucogen that is in the honey. Okay. Again, children, infants under 2 years of age do not have honey. You cannot give them any honey. I know that, but this is natural. This is natural. No, they're not that natural yet. Their body has not yet grown to the level to be able to break that sugar down, that complex sugar down of the honey. Okay, so you want to get that into a stevia, right? Stevia is a natural nice honey. Also agave, a drop of agave is okay. Also a dash of even coconut sugar is also fine. Okay, and those are also sugar alternatives that I would also recommend, not just for children as well as adults, because they're basically messing up a lot of our kids with this whole um psychiatric behavior stuff, and it's coming from a lot of the ingredients that is in our stupid markets, particularly the saccharin, the high fructose corn syrup, which I could go into that. I mean, the MSG, and I'm not talking about Madison Square Garden, the monosodium and glutamate, which has been a major contributor to the delinquents of our children. And they saying that has also helped to they seeing that it is a big thing of children that are in prison, and they have used that, so it's very interesting about this franken foods that you can find easily in your stupid markets, but some of the herbs that I'm telling you about or trying to teach people about is so hard to get and find. So that's why, within the next week or so, you'll find that you're going to get a lot of herbs or be able to get these herbs direct right from our website, because we want to help the people by empowering the people, not just by information, but with the application. We want to be able to put this right in your hands, because the day of Yama comes in Islam. We call it the day of judgment comes, right? And we believe in that, but other people may call it something else. But when that day comes and you're gonna be with your maker, I don't want you to blame me for your excuse for not being healthy or wealthy and etc. You're gonna have to look in the men or the women in the mirror and blame yourself. Okay? In the good words of the Bible, it says that. Listen to the words of the Father. Listen to every word that he says, because when the right time comes along, you'll have no one to blame for yourself. This is the day's time right now, brothers and sisters.
Yes, it is.
I got a couple of comments here on Facebook. So someone said, what about the Manuka honey?
Manuka honey is one of the best honeys ever that's out. It's very rich, very high in antioxidants. However, it's very, very, very expensive. All right, but it's noted from New Zealand and so forth, Australia, and all those places. They big onto that. But Manuka honey is one of the best honeys. They got honey from Yemen, which is noted to be very good. Honey that has been derived from certain trees, from cedar wood, and you would taste the wood, the smokiness in the honey with some of these honeys. Now they're making infused honeys with medicine already, extra medicine already into it, because we're finding that the infused honeys work great into going into the bloodstream to affect change, transformation, and rejuvenation for a human body.
So, think- how do you, Sister Bina, how do you spell Manuka?
Manuka.
Oh, Manuka. Okay. There's a friend of mine passed along to me about putting honey in my eyes for my glaucoma. He said it was from Dr. Sebi.
That is a not just a Dr. Sebi recipe, but that recipe or protocol of utilizing honey, holistic honey, particularly manuka, in the eyes is excellent for glaucoma and other eye issues that we use in Ayurveda.
Okay.
Oh, so much to learn. So for this, as the seasons have changed and we're going into the warmer weather, more hotter weather, what are some herbs or things that are good for seasonal health right now?
Right now, I think the best thing that folks would want to do right now is start to cleanse themselves. Cleanse themselves, get rid of the old stagnant stuff, the guck that we would say that's caught up in our pipes and our tubes and so forth. So you want to deal with dandelion. You want to deal with cleansing herbs like that, dandelion, watercress. You want to deal with um anything that's going to be cleansing, lime, warm lemon water in the morning is excellent, particularly lemon warm water with honey added to it is excellent to cleanse the stomach and strengthen at the same time, especially during the mornings. And for cleansing, again, you also want to deal with cloves. That's also very cleansing. It has a good cleansing effect on the body system. Um, Also, what's good is chickweed for those who have issues with blood, cleansing their blood, and also with acne, which it shows up on your skin. So you want to use chickweed herbs. Also,
Great.
watercress come to mind.
And is there a combination of those that you sell?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And also, but right now I'm actually passionate in doing these, what is called as these basically VPK compositions for folks. So what we do for the for $25 donation is what we do is we do a health chart for you. It is an individual unique health chart, which basically you send your information. Basically, we send you a survey. You answer the survey based on these questions as to what it is that you like, what you don't like, how is it, why is it, the what, the how, the when, the where. These answers I don't know. These answers you know, but you're going to help me be able to help you gain better insight as to what's going on, what's happening outside of us when we know what's happening within us. And so that's what some of those questions will help us to do with the survey. And with that survey, then we'll be able to determine your unique, what we call in Ayurveda, Prakruti, which is a VPK count, which is a Vata, Pitta, Kapha. It is a unique combination of the five elements. In traditional Chinese medicine, you have the five elements. They talk about the five elements. We have the fire, you have the fire, you have the earth, you have the metal, you have the water, you have the wood, and it's the generational cycle. In Ayurveda, we also have that similarly as well. So you have the air, you have the fire, and you have the earth, and you have water, and you have ether. Okay. All of those that I mentioned are also energetic principles that are contained in the body system, in the human unique is uniquely constituted in the body system. Okay. In Western medicine, they classify it as ectomorph. Usually they classify it or misclassify it, some of my yogi practitioners or physiotherapists would say, as ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. And these are like the three body structures. Certain people have a body structure where their bone structure is a certain way, okay? And they would be certain ailments or certain injuries are kind of like, they're geared towards that. That's what happened for them because of their body type. So all that science comes into play in alternative holistic medicine. And so we utilize that here at Natural Health Hero to help create the best optimized plan of rejuvenation, rehealing for a person, whether it's basically coming from an injury, or whether it's a sport injury or a car accident, or just an emotional situation that we're dealing with because we're living in a toxic environment, physically toxic, spiritually toxic, emotionally toxic. We are under attack. So I am trying to utilize this information to empower you, the people, to become natural health heroes and sheroes in your own household. Okay, because together we are all the medicine.
I have another question. What is the difference between a detox and a cleanse?
It's pretty, for me, I would say some people, they might go in a little bit deeper, like a detox is really like purging everything out. It depends on how deep. There's some things that really can cleanse you out, but is it really that healthy? You have to look at, what you put into the system. Even though the body is a body in itself, it is almost like a machine. And you have to be mindful of what you put into the machine, like what you put into a vehicle. If you have a particular vehicle that you like, sorry, you have a vehicle that you like, let's say it's a big suburban truck, powerful suburban truck, you got to put good gas in that if you want that truck to run efficiently, to get you get you to point A to point B efficiently, and without it breaking down, without it and moving back. You put good fuel, which is the equivalent to good food, and also good thoughts into the vehicle, then that vehicle will move more smoothly and thoroughly to wherever it needs to go to. So that's just very much just like how the human body is. If you feed it the right things, it would be right for you. If you take care of it, it will take care of you. Drink the good water. First of all, think the good thoughts, because in reality, all thoughts are preliminary actions. And say, oh wow, I didn't know I get onto this, and I'm gonna hear something like that. I thought he was gonna tell me to take a pill. Well, the pill is the thought, because you have certain so-called doctors, witch doctors. I call them the rich doctors, right? That wear the white lab coat and they're rich, and then they label me telling you about herbs and medicine. They label me as the witch doctor, the bushman. The bushman is the witch doctor. But in reality, the rich doctor is the witch. They're prescribing death upon the masses of dumbasses of people all across America, because a lot of people don't read, they don't write, and they're scared. So they become paralyzed, right, based off of false events that appear to be real. So the fake practitioner, or whatever you choose to, whatever, because sometimes it's good, is useful. I'm about integrating, utilizing the best of both worlds. But I have a disagreement when you have these folks that come out and tell patients or clients in our family, oh well, you have 2 weeks to live, or you only have XYZ amount of time to live. Who's to say that? How can you say that? But they have been practicing death upon the masses of our people for centuries, just off of words, telling, oh, you are sick. And because somebody has been pre-programmed to white supremacy and white lab coats and et cetera that go along with it, that everything that this person is saying is right and everything else is wrong. So this person says, oh, don't drink the sorrow, drink this stuff over here that has a whole sort of compound of chemicals, that has radiation, liquid radiation, liquid chemicals called barium, which is from the elements that you see coming from the jets that are blowing in the air that are in our bloodstream right now. Okay. And not just from inhaling it unbeknowingly, but a lot of the medication that a lot of our US doctors are prescribing to a lot of patients, a lot of consumers have a lot of toxins in it. And they're not telling you the real side effects of these things. When you look at the so-called commercial, the commercial tells you, take this for weight loss, and give you a song and a hip hop dance for it, right? But then they start fast forwarding. Look at all the bad things that's going to happen to you. Your arm could fall off. Your eyes going to come out your head. All these different bad things are going to happen to you. The side effects from that. But they said, wait a minute, just from taking that, I got to think about that. And this is all made unnaturally or artificially. Whereas if I just took the time, roll up my sleeve, and put some work, some sweat into it, as my man say, let me see some footwork, put some footwork into the movement, you will find great effectiveness in natural herbs for you, the family, and the people. We just got to use it. Cayenne pepper is very effective for those who are battling stroke issues, right? If somebody is walking and they have a little stroke issue, right, you could put a dash of cayenne pepper under the tongue. That, along with what we call bisi, which is crushed cola nut, will help battle and combat a stroke. Okay? Cayenne pepper with bisi, also known as cola nut. Castor oil, excellent for detoxification. Another one for detoxification, in case for food poisoning, that you may want to do, is you definitely want to make sure you travel with activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is excellent for food poisoning. If you ate something bad, if you was hanging out late and you overdrank and you got a hangover, which you shouldn't be doing, especially those that's drinking and driving. I'm gonna tell you right now, none of that. But you could offset a lot of that damage to your liver and to your body by drinking a cup of an 8-ounce cup, 16-ounce cup of crushed, a little bit of a teaspoon of crushed activated charcoal to help neutralize the body and the bloodstream, to detoxify from the toxins that is already in your body from the alcohol excess.
Is the activated charcoal something you can take every day or just in those situations?
Say that again, please.
Can you take activated charcoal every day or just in those situations?
You could take it every day.
Okay.
You can take it every day because we are under attack, direct attack every day. And what it will do is help to deodorize. If you take it every day, long lastingly, what it does is that it helps to deodorize the body system. The same alkaline, the same activated charcoal is going to help naturally alkalize the body and cleanse and purify it. Okay, just as when you have a Brita water filter in your refrigerator and you placing water over it, the rocks basically absorbs the toxins, phagocytes, not phagocytes, the germs and so forth that contribute to pathogens into the body out of the water. So it filters it. And so that would be doing that into your body the more that you're infusing that into your system.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to take up so much more of your time, but I did want to ask about the acupressure and the Qigong. If you could just provide a brief overview of that and its benefits. And I'm on your website right now. I'm not going to share that in the chat so you can start having an influx of people coming to you.
Oh, yes, sure. Oh, yeah, before I forget, so herbs for the children, chamomile is excellent for the children. You want to have them with the chamomile. It's a soothing tea. Also, very cooling is guinea hen weed, and children actually love peppermint tea, which is very soothing for the tummy. And
I used to give peppermint tea to my children when they were babies, when they had the stomach was upset.
Yes, that's one of the best right there. It helps an upset stomach. Peppermint tea and I mean any tea, cinnamon tea. They like cinnamon. They like lemon. They like honey. Um, I have been experimenting with also with doing a creation of gelatin with halal kosher jello, making a jello shot that is like herbal medicine for children. That's one of the phases of projects that I love and very passionate to do here in Natural Health Hero is dealing with herbal medicine pretty much for the children, pediatrics, and for safe families. Because a lot of the herbal products that you will find in the Chinese supermarkets, their herbs is very good, very powerful. However, a lot of those tinctures, formulas are based in alcohol. And the community that I directly primarily serve, most and foremost, which is the Black and Brown community, we suffer the most from alcohol abuse, alcoholism, and issues that also directly affect the overusage of sugar, particularly obesity, diabetes, etc. And so, sugar and the byproduct of sugar, which is also alcohol, I kind of like want to kind of like steer away from for most folks. Now, of course, different strokes for different folks. If you, choose to, have your alcohol, that's on you. You do it that way, fine. But holistically, medicinally wise, I have to kind of like create an alternative for those, especially for children, because children in particular have a lot of issues that we don't really know how to communicate what's really wrong with you, what's going on, what could we do to help you. So we know that with this halal safe um, herbal medicine, we've gotten great results with that in so little time. And not even so little time that I've been on the planet. But a lot of these recipes and protocols have been utilized for centuries. That's what makes it, that's what makes what I do very, very, very passionate, because I'm not just tapping in and making up stuff on my own. I'm basically tapping into ancient remedies, ancient protocols that were utilized back then that are still effectively scientifically utilized that can work right now to this day. We are the medicine.
Mhm. Um, what's the benefit of the guinea hen weed?
Guinea hen weed is a Caribbean herb that is excellent for flus, colds, etc.
Oh, okay, so it's good for the respiratory system.
Very good for that. Guinea hen weed is like boom. You definitely want to have that. That's excellent for that. So if somebody starts coughing or sneezing, grandma or mom or whoever, auntie, is already boiling up some of that water and putting that guinea hen weed on there.
Oh, that was another question. So all of these herbs, you have to boil the water and let them seep, or are there any things that you can just have seep in water for like 24 hours? Or how do you do the preparations for different herbs?
So with anything that's barks, anything hard, tubers, you want to make sure that you can place that into the water before it actually boils, and bring that whole thing into boil process. If it's leaves, berries, and branches, right, that are small, you can then use that already with the water that has been already boiled and let that kind of like infuse or simmered into the concoction or infusion. And the reason why you want to do that is because we use the heat to bring the stimulation or to motivate the flavonoids or the phytonutrients of the plant to activate. Okay. But you don't want too much heat, because too much heat will then burn away all of the great nutrients, phytonutrients that you will have in the compound. So you don't want it too hot either. So that's why if it's leaves and so forth like that, you have it on low.
Leaves low, bark
Yeah.
soak. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, let the bars be on hot and turn it up on that there. And I also, before I forget, special herbs that we here in our community definitely need to get on top of is mullein and lungwort, particularly mullein, which is a Native American herb, which has been utilized not only as a drinking tea, but also beneficial as a smoking tea. And some people say, oh man, I want to learn how to stop smoking. Stop smoking the fake tobacco cigarettes because it's harmful. So what we would do is prescribe them mullein cigars. And the mullein cigars is not only for those who are battling cigarette smoking, but mullein is also utilized to help the respiratory system and to also work as an expectorant for the phlegm and mucus that's on the chest, which is excellent.
And that's Mullein.
Yes, mullein.
Okay.
And so you see Native Americans, they even have smoke lodges, sweat lodges. And in the sweat lodge, they also have a pouch of mullein in there. So it helps to cleanse the lung airwaves and so forth. Another one is which is good for the breathing is lungwort, which also works the same way. And then one of my favorite herbs that I love to talk about from my country of Barbados is called Kalanchi Panata, also known to the world as Wonder of the World or Leaf of Life. And that plant is a magical plant. It's noted as an aerotical plant, meaning that it can grow. It's an adaptogenic endogenous plant. That leaf can be taken from one place and place it anywhere and drop it on the piece of the earth, and it will start to grow and create a new plant right from there in itself and start rooting. And that leaf itself has been noted for centuries, from Zanzibar of Africa, all throughout Ghana, all throughout Guinea, Senegal, as well as the Caribbean. Particularly in the Caribbean, we call it Wonder of the World. I think Trinidad, they call it Leaf of Life and so forth. And it really is a wonder of the world because that particular leaf is so good for a number of things, whether it be pain, migraine pain. They take the actual leaf and you just smash it a bit and you place it on your head or you place it wherever you have an ailment, like on your knees. And the menthol in there helps to soothe the pain. So it's a natural pain reliever. In addition to that, they place that on the chest to remove phlegm and mucus from off the chest for those who are having issues breathing. One of the World is also the juice from One of the World. When you mentioned, I think Sister mentioned earlier about using honey on the eye. So that's an Ayurvedic protocol. However, in the Caribbean, we use a similar protocol for cataracts, and that would be used with the Wonder of the World. The juice.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, say excuse me.
The juices from the Wonder of the Leaf of the Wonder of the World or Leaf of Life would then be placed into a droplet, and you place that onto the eye, and that will help to basically make because that's a clot of phlegm or mucus. It will basically break that down without destroying the eye.
How do you spell that again? I'm sorry, Dr. Aziz.
Sure. Wonder of the World.
What is the botanical
Wonder, WONDER of OF World.
No, I have that part. I'm saying the botanical. You said the botanical name of it.
Kalanchi Panata.
That's what I was asking.
Kalanchi. You're gonna have. See, I try to memorize all these herbs, and now you're gonna make me memorize how to spell it too, sister. Now you know that's good though. But Kalanchi, hold on a second. Kalanchi is with the K. It's I believe it's KALLANCHAE. Kalanche Panata.
Okay. What was the
And even
last
though it's
one?
the herb coming from Africa, it has a lot of those herbs have Latin names because the Moors, the African Moors, conquered Spain from 711 to 1492, and so we also took that language also as ours.
Okay. Kalachi, what was the last
Panata, Panata
It starts with a K.
with a P, yeah. Kalanchi Pinata, like
Pinata.
pina, yeah, Pinata.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Just very briefly, as I know we've definitely taken up so much time, but it's been wonderful. If you could just touch on ear acupressure, which I'm so glad you were able to offer at an event. I'm so appreciative of that. If you could just touch on that, the ear acupressure.
Sure. So ear acupressure or auricular therapy is the science of you. It's just like reflexology in a nutshell, basically. A lot of folks, when we talk about and have these discussions about ear acupuncture or what is it, simplified, basically, we know about reflexology. And so reflexology, a lot of folks only see and hear about reflexology only on the feet, right? And which is good because the feet represent the dermatomes, the series of neural plexuses of nerves and endocrine systems that come and correspond and come at the bottom of the body at the feet, portals of the feet. The same way it is to the feet, it is also resemble on the hands. There's micro points that are stimulated onto the hands as well that are connected to the different various parts of the body through what it calls meridians, as well as veins and capillaries, arteries, etc. That increases what is known as circulation. In traditional Chinese medicine, you have what is known as hand tying and foot tying. So foot tying would be meridians or pathways of channels of energy of blood flow, as well as energy that start on the feet. And hand tying would be symbolic to meridians and acupoints that are found on the hand that connect to the different parts of the body. And so, like, oh man, what does that talk about? This is cool, right? So on your hand, right, we got to wave your hands in the air, throw them like you just don't care, right? You have 5 fingers. So this thumb finger is presented and connected to the lung channel, which is responsible for your respiration, your breathing. Your second finger here on the index is connected to what is known as your large intestine. Your large intestine is here under the stomach. However, it ends on the opposite side of your nasal, of your nose, okay? Then you have what is known as your PC, which is your pericardium. And then you have what is known as your triple warmer, which is a energetic philosophy theory that we use in traditional Chinese medicine of the triple warmer or triple energizer, which is basically resemble of lower burner, middle burner, and upper burner. And those were issues dealing with urogenital issues, digestion, ingestion, elimination, etc., and also respiratory, thinking, breathing, etc., in the upper element of the 3 treasures or the burner. And so those energetic pathways are also helped out through exercise, as well as through herbs, as well as through acupressure, and so or acupuncture, the usage of it with needles or pins, which I'm looking for, but I can't find right now. Oh, I got some right here. I even got some needles here. Okay, needles here. But the most important needle that you have, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of your fingers. Okay, so before we had acupuncture, we had acupressure. And so when you see a person doing these, those are my yogis and they doing this, I'm not throwing up gang symbols, I'm throwing up mudras. And mudras basically is internal yoga for the body, because these energy zones that are connected to the hand tie-in are tying in to create a circuitry of circulation, of stimulation for vital energy. All right. So that's some of the science on using mudras and or chants along with the healing breathing. Okay. But on the ear, for those that don't know, unbeknownly to the world, the ear is the third fold of reflexology that helps to activate a wealth of healing for the whole entire body. Because when I touch you on your feet, if I touch you on your toes, I touch you on your hand, where does the feeling start? You feel it. Yes, you feel it in your toe. You feel it on your hand or wherever you allow me to touch. But where initially is the feeling starting? It starts, yes, in your head, in your brain, in your mind. And the last time I checked, right, our ears are closest to our head than even our heart or even our stomach. I know some of y'all are like, no, my stomach is closer to the head. No, it's not supposed to be. All right. But that's you get what I'm saying. So the blood flow that connects to the whole entire body system, my system keeps coming off with the camera, so I'm going back and forth. The blood flow that goes throughout the body, stimulation, elimination, et cetera, communication starts here and it travels throughout wherever it has to go through. There is, through your ear, what is known as nervous plexuses. Nervous plexuses is combinations of nerves combined together, and your blood flow runs through there. So they have found that there is a stomach point that is very reflective to the stomach point here in your stomach. And so when they touch it, it has an effect. The point that we touch in the ear has an impact on the effect upon the stomach, naturally on the anatomical part of the body system. Why is that? How is that? Because we are all part of the medicine, right? As above, so below. Okay. When you push here, it creates a pulling sensation. When you pull here, it creates a pulling section. So it's a yin and a yang. It's an energetic play. It's a dance of yin and yang. Natural law of attraction, magnetism. This is all happening with your cells. This is all happening with a number of things. And so different points on the ear stimulate different parts of the body. If I touch on the lobe here, this is very indicative to the face part of the body. Okay, so they look at the ear. Oh, I got a chart here. So here we use this as an ear chart in auricular therapy, as you can see. So the ear looks almost like a upside down fetus. And they're said to have over 120 points that can be utilized on the auricle of the ear. Your ears are basically like an antenna, like a satellite dish, and can be programmed to stimulate, to calm you down, to do a number of things that connect to the central nervous system. And so auricular therapy happens to be one of the best found modalities that can be utilized in today's modern medicine, not just holistic medicine, but alternative medicine, integrative medicine. In fact, doctors are now utilizing this and they call this battlefield acupuncture because they have used one of the techniques of the protocols for pain, which is an anesthesia point. So as an anesthesia, instead of giving a client, if they're getting ready to take a major surgery and they have to shoot them with high dosages of opiates or different drugs to create the desensitivity of pain, there is a particular protocol that we find in China and of acupuncture where they call that anesthesia. So they can actually use acupuncture points to create this painless situation where a person can actually have open heart surgery, open brain surgery, and all they had was basically stimulation from acupuncture points in the ear. So this science of acupuncture, I was very intrigued with it, as a martial artist and now becoming as a healer and as a revolutionary. They say, wow, this really can help people. The story of that was used in the 1960s, Dr. Matul Shakur at Lincoln Hospital with the Young Lords and the Black Panthers. A lot of our people coming back from the war, highly addicted to narcotics back then as it is today. And this ear acupuncture protocol was utilized and it strengthened many people that they were able to combat substance abuse disorders and a number of things cold turkey without the usage of methadone, which methadone happens to be a derivative of the same dope that they are illegally taking to begin with. So some of us as holistic health practitioners disagree with even the methadone technique of that, because that's not a real foolproof solution to get many of our people off of this situation. So acupuncture has been found to be very effective in our communities. However, in the 1970s and 80s, it was removed because of the great effects of the effectiveness that it was having in our communities. So they tried to ban it up until it resurfaced again because other people in other communities started to get this information and they started to benefit greatly from powering themselves from substance abuse disorder without the usage of methadone, which was basically destroying people's bones and everything else. Okay, so acupuncture was great. And so the 5 points that we talk about in auricular therapy in the NADA protocol is, and those you can actually do that with your fingers. Let me make sure that my camera's on. I know I have a lot of time, but real quick, you could basically, you are the medicine. Bring your hands together and bring some friction. Create that heat. If you just place that over your ears, feel the warmth of that, and that is soothing and very relaxing to the body. You could then take your hands off your ears again and clap them again. Bring another circulation, stimulation of friction. Then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to pinch the lobes of the ear and lightly massage going up. So you're going to go here and flow. And you're going to bring it all the way up from the lobe, all the way to the top. This is what is called as the helix of the ear. And you're going to bring this up. And you're going to move this up. Some people, you see their eyes, he's falling out already. All right. You do this to the children, and the children go to sleep fast. They feel so relaxed. You do this to your spouse, your significant other. You know, you don't have to do a whole body massage. Basically, you are massaging the whole body if you massage the ear. The ear is the as above to the so below in reflexology that we will have with the feet, the hands, and now the ear. And so the ear, it works greatly to achieve change and help for the whole body. So if you have issues with blood flow constriction, you can basically reverse it by spending 5 to 10 minutes a day just by doing this. Just going up, you go up 3, 4 times, and then you massage going down 3 times. If you so hyped and you're running around like you had a gallon of coffee or whatever like that, then you calm down. You start from the top and you calm down. And as you calming down, you are transforming. This is Transformative Thursdays. You're transforming the blood, the mind, and if you do it enough, you also transform it in the behind. As a person thinketh, so shall they change, so shall they be. That's what it's all about. We just started new moon a couple of days ago. So we're in the new moon cycle. So new moon, new thoughts, new ideas. We're growing and flowing.
I think you've just received a whole bunch of new fans. So you can just repeat where you're located and your website. Do you have any classes or courses coming up? Because I think you have people ready to sign up right now. And if you could also just show the book again, and a funny story, how I got the book, we were at the holistic chapter meeting, and as soon as you said I have the book, I was the first one to grab it. I think someone else said, I wanted a book. Well,
Yes. Oh,
right.
yes, you have the book. I'm so glad you got the book, sister, because you know what's so interesting is that this travel, this pathway to becoming a holistic practitioner, I love it. I can't thank the creator enough for the information that I have learned, not just from reading books, but being a book, being a walking book of enlightenment, of healing. But I was able to see that natural herbs for the people, got to get that book. Natural Herbs for the People is an empowerment book, and you can get that direct at naturalhealthhero.com. We had it on sale at Amazon. However, Amazon unfortunately is somewhat like becoming like a power elite, like some other places like Facebook and YouTube, where they kind of like almost censoring certain pieces of information. So we have to be careful of that. So we had to eliminate that. When you look on Amazon for my book, Natural Herbs for the People, you will find that it says out of print, right? They bought up all the copies and they don't want to sell the copies because they want to keep the information to themselves, right? So it's out of print when you get it off of Amazon. So this is why we're telling the people to buy direct, buy black, buy direct, and you go to naturalhealthhero.com and you can get the book direct, Natural Herbs for the People. You can also email me again at naturalhealthhero786@gmail.com. And if you are interested in your holistic, unique reading for $25, please email me that. You can Cash App or Zelle, but you can make that proposition over at naturalhealthhero786@gmail.com. Again, my website is www.naturalhealthhero.com. We have a lot of information on the website, and soon coming, we're going to have more herbs for the people, not just books and good looks, but we are going to have natural herbs that folks can buy, such as ginseng, such as black seed. In the book, we talk about black seed. Black seed was utilized by the ancient Egyptians. I showed the picture of King Tutankhamun, and you heard what I said, King Tutankhamun. Everybody says just saying King Tut. No, his name is King Tutankhamun. All right, that's what I was taught by Dr. Jeffries. But the science about black seed oil and how black seed oil was utilized in Africa, particularly in Kemet, by the Nubians, and all of the pharaohs, they actually swore to the benefits of black seed, to the point whereas when each of the pharaohs or the queens they transitioned, they actually placed black seed or the black seeds into the karas, into the coffin, along with the body. And it was said that they wanted to wish good health even into the afterlife. Now, that's deep. So if King Tutankhamun, King Tut, Akhenaten, and all these others were able to do that and utilize that as a herb for empowerment, for the healing for themselves and the community, why aren't you? Now, in this day and time, or not too long after that, the Rasulullah alayhi salam, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the Islamic community, basically spoke very highly about the usage of black seed oil. And he stated that black seed oil was so good that it was good for almost any and every ailment except for death. And during the COVID, I also utilized that as a protocol because we were studying and implementing Unani Tibb, which is the science of the medicine of the Prophet, peace be upon him, which is Islamic medicine. So we were utilizing what is known as Unani Tibb concepts, herbal protocols from Africa, Middle East, as well as cupping, as hijama. Hijama is what we call it in the Arabic sense, traditional Chinese medicine, they call it cupping, acucupping. And this was very, very beneficial for helping folks to relieve of the stagnant chi, as well as the inflammation, as well as the brain fogginess, a number of things. We was getting great, 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 great results from just by utilizing natural remedies. And so I love talking about this. We could keep going on and on and on. I am having interest about setting up a class. We're looking for a good day to pick and choose a day of a herbal walk tour right here in New York City. We're going to be picking a location in the Bronx that I'll be showing and dedicating and teaching folks about plant identification, how we have medicinal plants growing right here and right in our backyards, right in our parks and so forth. So we will show you, identify them, and hopefully Most High willing pick some out and basically start to utilize them to implement them in medicine right here in your community, whether it's the Bronx, whether it's Brooklyn, whether it's even Harlem, right? Staten Island or Queens. We are the medicine. It's not where you're from, it's where you at. Don't you know that there's a cold and flu herb that's locally located right next to you? Don't you know that there is bees that you can actually obtain honey that has the antihistamine that will help you to defeat all this excessive coughing and sneezing that everybody's dealing with right now? People are coughing and sneezing. You think you have a flu? No, you might just have allergy situation. So this could be greatly affected and empowered just by the usage of honey, right? You're taking artificial cough syrup that has codeine in it, and codeine is a derivative of cocaine, okay? And this is what we're giving our children. And then you're wondering why the kid is acting out. And then these witch doctors want to then prescribe more psychotropic drugs onto Black and brown children because of this. So we gotta get, we gotta get with the script, people. We are the medicine. We can empower ourselves today by this information here. And a lot of us, grandma is not here no more to pass on information. Our mothers and our fathers and those elders who had those secrets, they're no longer here now in this day and time now, because they didn't pass on the secrets. They didn't pass on the torch. But we still can exercise some of that connection when we purchase books like that. We stay contuned with cooperatives where we can implement and empower the people. In this book, we also talk about the usage of cannabis and demystifying, decriminalizing the usage of cannabis. Cannabis sativa has been utilized for centuries in Africa, in the Middle East, and Latin America for health, healing. It helps pain. It helps get rid of a number of things, helps to destroy tumors. I mean, there's so many things that we can get into to help that cannabis does help. Not, oh, it just makes you feel good. Oh, because, no, it is good. And utilized properly, it can empower you rather dispower you. Okay, so it's just like anything else. You have to learn about the proper usage of balance and have balance. Obtain a buoyancy of balance with anything that you do in life, whether it's sleep, whether it's water, whether it's milk, whether it's tea, whether it's sex, it's sleep, whatever it is. We must all find the ultimate balance. And Islam, an Arabic word for that, is called mizan, the balance scale, the balance there. I don't want to be too much to the left because it's going to be our way. I don't want to be too much to the right. It's going to be our way. I want to be in the middle, mizan, okay? So water is, our bodies are made up in the composition of a human body. Our bodies are made up of what? 75 to 85% what? Water, which constitutes as plasma, right? Okay, so you drink water so that you can be hydrated, right? Hey, but if you drink too much water, what can happen? You can be overhydrated and you can die. Right? Now, on the opposite of that, if you don't drink enough water, you will be dehydrated and you can what? Die. Okay? So that's the issue there. Just like air. If you have too much oxygen to the brain, that can be very problematic. Just as if you have not that much oxygen going to the brain, that could be very problematic. Balance, sleep. We need sleep. We love sleep. I know some of y'all love sleep more than you love everything else, right? But too much sleep is not good for you. As they say back in the days, sleep is the what? Cousin of death. Sleeping and resting is two different things. You want that rest so that you can gain restoration and recharge your body as the divine battery that the Most High made it to be. You're going to get that through resting and sleep. A lot of us, we're just laying and we're not really optimizing and allowing our body to achieve true sleep or true rest. Okay? Because all of the noises that you have in the city dwelling that we're living in, all of the negative stress that everybody yelling and screaming and talking, how can the body relax? You have the stimulus. So you have to be able to learn how to relaxation. That's right. It's a station, not just in your mind, but in the behind. I hope I didn't leave any questions out.
Yeah, there's just take one more question. Dr. Shaka, can you consume the black seeds? I have both oil and seeds. That's their question.
Absolutely. You could consume black seed, the seeds or the oil any day, every day, 3-4 times a day. Okay. Some folks are black seedologists. They put black seed on their cookies. They put black seed in their hair. They put black seed in their nookie. They put black seed everywhere because black seed is good. The oils for black seed is first I can't even. I mean, black seed has a compound in it called thymoquinone, which is a high component to help kill tumors, cancer, and excellent for respiratory issues. Okay, that with the quinol and a number of things that are in it, and the natural menthol phytonutrients that's in it are so beneficial that scientists to this day are still uncovering. However, during the scandemic, I noticed, right, that black seed oil was which was before that it was so easy to get. Black seed oil started to get more popular because one of the compounds that I just mentioned, a former president of ours also mentioned it, and they found out that nutrient, that phytonutrient, was obtained from black seed oil, from the cold pressed oil from the black seed oil. That's where it comes from. And immediately, right after that, black seed oil started to go off the chain in the market, and the prices started to surge, and people was going crazy for it. However, black seed oil is such a beautiful thing that is plentiful, particularly in the places of Africa and the Middle East. So black seed, we get black seed, plenty of black seed oil. In fact, when I went to my trip in Saudi Arabia and went to Egypt, Kemet, as well as Umrah in Saudi Arabia, we made our connection and we got our official black seed oil from Saudi Arabia, and also from Kemet, from Egypt. And I will show you what real black seed looks like.
Can't see.
I'm coming.
And again, for everyone watching, the website is www.naturalhealthhero.com. And Dr. Shaka is right in the heart of Harlem on 7th Avenue.
Okay, so I'm back here. I love talking about herbs and
Can't see
showing
it.
off herbs. I'm coming here.
Okay.
So, this is coming from a jug, and this is how this black seed looks. So it's not round, it's super almost dark black. That's how black seed oil is actually supposed to be. And it has a nutty nutty scent, which is excellent. Even if you burn it in oil, it is excellent for breathing, kills bacteria, helpful for aromatherapy, breathing issues, but can be utilized to rub this on the skin for skin issues. All type of skin issues is helpful for. And not only that, but pain. It also has compounds in it, what they call is analgesic compounds in it to help eradicate pain. So that's why it's excellent for arthritis. And some of the pain formulas that I create, I have a pain formula called No Pain. I have it here, but without no label. But basically, it actually has black seed in it because black seed happens to be very, very good at helping arthritic inflammation and so forth.
Is it okay to take it with apple juice?
Black seed oil, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because the taste is.
Yeah, it took me about 10 years to get the taste right. So what I've learned for me, what I like with black, I'm able to do it now. I just hold my nose and just take it like that, or I take it in the tongue, it's no problem. And I noticed that when I take it, it does help me to open up my breathing way, my breathing passage. So I'm able to breathe a lot better, and also to detect where is the cold or the phlegm being congested at, whether it's being attacked or congested from the nose, the mouth, the throat, and or did it come already down to the chest and or even to the stomach. So the black seed oil basically helps you to determine that because we're able to hear where is the congestion. When you take black seed oil and you massage it onto the scalp, do a head massage, right? You have what is known as sinus cavities in your head that leak into the cranial as well as all throughout. And you have mucous membranes within those sinus cavities. And they will be greatly relieved when you start pressing on it. Not only that, but the herbal compounds of the black seed oil will transdermally go through the skin into the fascia, into the body, and open up for micro circulation of the blood, which will relieve. It'll start moving and phlegm, mucus, and stuff. People got that stuffy head, like, oh, why my head feels like that? If you press on it, it's got mucus in it. So you're going to stimulate the mucous membranes and the sinus cavities to release. And some folks will find what they call as post-nasal drip. You can basically sense and taste the mucus or the phlegm coming down the backdrop of your nose into the throat, into the mouth. And they call that post-nasal drip. And that can be helped with black seed oil. So we try to tell folks, get your black seed oil. Get any black seed oil is good for you. But if you can, try to look for Natural Health Heroes black seed oil. We brought to you for the people by any means necessary. We eliminate the other man and just make it just a you and me thing. We the people. We are the medicine.
So your shop is on 7th Avenue?
So our shop, our shop just now has now closed on 7th Avenue, and we are now opening up a new place, and we are expanding within the next 30 days. So we have our new location, which is now in the Bronx, which is located at 2975 Bainbridge Avenue.
What?
And yeah, 2975 Bainbridge Avenue in the Bronx, in the Boogie Down.
2975. What's that near?
That is near Bedford Park Boulevard.
Okay.
Bedford Park Boulevard, Bainbridge Avenue, in the Boogie Down Bronx.
Okay.
And it's by appointment only. And the number that folks can call to reach out for services is 347 391 391 9685.
9685. Okay.
Excuse me, Dr. Shaka. Sister Bina said that in order for you to be reached on 7th Avenue in Harlem, but you're not there now.
That's what I just explained to her.
Oh, okay.
And so we're no longer at that location. We kind of like outgrew it, and we are now being hosted by Masjid Sabor in the Bronx, which is at 2975 Bainbridge Avenue. And we have healing sessions there for the people in the community. We have acupuncture, community acupuncture, herbal consultations, body work, cupping, hijama, etc. by appointment only. And the number again is 347-391-9685.
And when you were speaking about black seed, I had ordered a big jar of black seed. It's almost like granulated. Um and I take a teaspoon of that in my mouth, and then I follow with a glass of water. And I don't know, it tastes pretty good to me. But that's not the oil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that we have to work towards for some of us a little bit harder than others. Some folks actually, we take the black seed and you make bread, and you can bake the bread with a little bit of the black seeds and on it, and it kind of like adds to a roasted flavor to the
Oh yeah.
bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put that on our naan bread
Oh yeah. Yeah.
with some butter, and it's very good.
You just made me hungry.
I want to thank you. The comments have been so supportive, that this was a great session. They've got so much information. I think I heard somebody was taking notes. So people had a lot of questions, and I'm sure they'll see the replay and have even more questions. Um, so I just want to say, yes, black seed pills taste better because the oil takes some getting used to. Um, okay, is there anything in closing that you would like to share with everyone?
Natural herbs is your birthright. Getting your good health is your birthright. Just like learning the Constitution, we need to learn about the Constitution of your body. Constitution of your body says you have a right, a divine right to be healthy. You have the divine right to be healthy, happy, abundant, and wealthy. So says the Most High, and so says we, the people. You got other folks that's telling you that you don't have a right to live. You don't have a right. Natural health is not your birthright. Natural health, right, should be expensive. Natural health should be, like if you're getting a brand new car. And I mean, it is worth that. It's probably worth more than that, but you don't have to break yourself and break your back in your bank for that. It can be costly, but not that costly. But the best investment, the truest investment, is the investment within oneself into your health. We are the people.
Yes. It costs more to be unhealthy than it does for you to be healthy, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. It costs way more, and that is the true wealth is happiness. So people always say, well, if you had a wish, what would you want? And, would you want the money or would you want the health? I said, I want a little bit of the health and the money, but I would really appreciate more of the health, more so than the money. The reason why is because if I'm a grandpapa, for example, if I'm a rich grandfather, I worked hard all my life and bust my chops to get this money, and now finally I can afford the time to take my family out to Disney World. We want to go to Disney, right? But unfortunately, Baba is not even in a good shape that he could even stand to walk or even get on a roller coaster ride. So how well will he be able to appreciate that time period with his grandchildren or great grands? You know, and so I don't want to be like that. I want to be an older cat that's still able to get on the roller coaster ride. In fact, I want to make you feel like you're on the roller coaster ride every time you shake my hand. That's how much electricity I want to be when I'm that old. But it starts with yourself and your health. Eating right for your body type is the main way. Exercising motion motion in mind, motion in word, motion in body. Because if you're moving your body, you're moving your mind and you're moving the cells. We were not made to sit still. Yeah, there's a time and place to sit still. There's also a time and place to move. So there's equal benefits of both. But utilize that. There's a wealth of health information in the realm of traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, African medicine, Caribbean medicine. But we, the people, have to use it. If you don't use it, you will lose it. I see in so many places, countless places, all these other supermarkets, real supermarkets, not stupid markets, and you see them all operated by people who don't look like you and I, people who are not from where you and I are at. And that says a lot without even saying it. And so I'm saying it's time for we, the real people, the organic people, the government of yourself, first and foremost, before there was the United States of America, you have to create the state of health and wellness for yourself and your mind and your body. And so it starts with ourselves. So we have to be the change that we pray to be, that we strive to be. And that starts with changing our mind, changing our diet, doing some exercising, getting rid of the negativity that we have in our communities. And you heard what I said. I said, what? Negativity? I said negativity. Yeah, that negativity, because a lot of us have taken on this plague of, we think this is good. And, you know, it's good to be broke. It's good to be poor. It's good to saturate ourselves with soda and high fructose corn syrup and having piss in the stairways and all type of stuff. I know this is the big trick. How did we get from the pyramids to the projects? We, brothers and sisters, have to slide back and ride back from the pyramid, from the projects back to the pyramids by any means necessary. And that's what Dr. Shaka Zulu is here to talk and teach about, by any means necessary. For further information, come on down to naturalhealthhero.com. Hit us up, naturalhealthhero786@gmail. And again, lastly, my number, 347-391-9685. I said it like 10 times. If somebody won the lotto, please make sure you give me 10% because that's my number. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for, infusing the information with so much humor. I really, really appreciate it. And you just really blessed a lot of people with this, with this information. People like, put it in the chat, put the number in the chat, put the address in the chat. So thank you so much. And I definitely want to speak with you about doing something in person, seriously. So just before we go, just a little announcement, a reminder. Next Saturday is the Boogie Down Bronx Book and Writing Fair. That's going to be at the East Bronx Academy at Southern Boulevard in Boston Road at 170th Street from 10 to 4. We're still looking for authors and illustrators and creatives. If you have a book, come and get an author table and share your work with the world. And you can follow me on Instagram at Bronx Holistic Healing, or reach out to me about having a space or doing a book signing at the event, or doing a reading of your book at the Book and Writing Fair. And this has been Transformation Thursday, which happens every Thursday, 7:15, 7:20. Just keep watching, because eventually I'll be on Thursdays. Yeah, I can't even stick to a time. It'll just happen when it happens. Thank you, Brother Shaka. Thank you so much. Again, that's naturalhealthhero.com, and he's got location in the Bronx at 2975 Bainbridge Avenue. So please reach out to him before you bombard him. But thank you so very much. And thank you, everyone.
I want to say thank you, Sister Bina, for all that you do.
Yes.
And who you are. You a super hero in our community. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work. Salute to you. And I look forward to doing this again.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Have a good evening, Sister Bina and Dr. Shaka. Thank you so much.
Okay, good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, all the listeners out there. Peace, empowerment to the people.
Okay.